Hello there, this is Tattoo Jared, and I'm back at it again. Before I get into the subject matter of this video, I would first like to let you all know about my friend Erica Wexler, who is a change facilitator. She's holding an event on leadership on November 14th in Philadelphia. The registration is $25, and I'm going to include a link in the description, so if you would like to go to her event and support her, that would be really awesome, and I would appreciate it. And the last time I went to one of her events, it was really a great experience for networking. I met many people who were on similar missions than I was, and it was overall a really amazing night. So don't miss out on this exciting event she's holding on leadership. And my buddy Dan Carlin, who has the Hardcore History podcast and the Common Sense podcast, says there's no problem that good leadership can't solve. So with that in mind, definitely go check out her event on November 14th in Philadelphia. Link in the description again. Now to the subject matter of this video. In this video, I would like to talk about gaslighting. Gaslighting is a verbal abuse technique that is used to manipulate and control the person they are talking to. And they do this for dominance. They do this because they want to feel in control or power over you. And it's a very unpleasant experience to be on the receiving end of, which I was this past week. So this person that was gaslighting me, I tried to assert a boundary with them because this person chooses to come in and out of my life whenever he wants to. And I told him I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate when people come in and out of my life whenever they want to. To which the person gaslighting me said it was very selfish of me not just to accept when people do whatever they want to do. Very selfish. The next thing I said was, you get mad at me for treating me the same way that you treat me. And he said that, oh, well, that's not good either because you should be able to treat people however you want. And it's not right for you to only want people in your life that treat you a certain way. That's not how life works. And so you see the subtle manipulations here of the truth and subtle manipulations of just overall human decency. A person who is gaslighting you, let's break it down a little bit here. What they do is they have no regard for your feelings or any of your boundaries. They just don't care. People who gaslight are often antisocial personality disorders or have narcissistic personality disorder, often in combination with addiction to drugs and alcohol. So this is the baseline of what you're dealing with here. And it's a experience where they really try to make you question your own reality. They try to make you lose belief in yourself. And it's all so that they can feel power and dominance over you. And they'll try any method to try to get to you to make you feel like that you need them. And it's very insidious, and it gives you a very terrible feeling in your gut. And that's one of the warning signs that you're being gaslighted is you just get a really toxic, uncomfortable feeling. And let me tell you, you do not deserve that. Nobody deserves that, ever. And I feel really bad, especially for women, I believe, that are in these kinds of relationships with men. It must be awful knowing that a man who usually has physical power over you is doing this to you. Really uncomfortable, and it gave me a new sense of appreciation or sympathy and empathy for women who are going through those kinds of things in relationships. I felt really bad. But to continue on with my experience with a gaslighter, when they do not get what they want, they call you names. They make threats about you if you don't bend to their will. And he specifically said, I need to bend more. I need to bend more in order for life to work. Because the gaslighter thinks that they can do whatever they want, and it's just okay. Now, he also did things like ask me, what am I even doing with my life? And he said, you're just jealous of me because I have a full-time job, and I'm happy, and you're not. And they constantly belittle you, too. Is another thing. They try to knock you down so that you think that your only sense of worth is through them. And it's really atrocious. And he made threats that he would always be there because he was a family member. He made threats that he would tell my family about past bad behaviors of mine. He, just overall, it was just a really unpleasant experience, and it's all because they can't accept any responsibility. Now, one thing I try to do in all of my interactions is, when I'm wrong, I try to promptly admit it, and I try to, more importantly, change my behaviors, because that's what amends really are. It's changing a behavior, not just saying you're sorry. And I get it. There's times I've not been perfect in this relationship either, but it's perfectly healthy to be able to try to assert a boundary and have the other person listen and respect the boundary, as I would be willing to do for them. But that's not how this works here. They don't understand that. They also would try to use other people against you, like, oh, this person would think this of you. And it's just extremely unpleasant. And there's only one thing to really do when it comes to gaslighting behavior, and you have to cut the person off. Because anything you say to them, they will use as ammunition to turn around on you and flip the script back on you to make you think that you're the one who is wrong. And this is why it's so important to have a healthy support system to help reinform or to support your reality, because they will absolutely make you question everything about yourself, especially if you're not used to enforcing boundaries or being assertive. It's a new skill to you. It's a new level of conversation, and it makes it difficult. You think, maybe you are being wrong. Maybe I am being selfish, not letting this person come in and out of my life. Maybe I need to bend more. Maybe I need to do all these things. But no, you don't need to do those things. You teach other people how to treat you. And if we have any level of self-respect for ourselves, we can't allow people to make us feel worthless, to question our reality, people who call us names, who belittle us, and then, very trickily, they may say they love you in the next sentence. Call you names, if you only did this, you'd be this. And then I love you. And it's like, man, their actions don't match their words. Their actions don't match their words. Gaslighting is verbal abuse. No doubt about it. And you don't deserve it. This is why we need a good support system to support us in the aftermath of these attacks. Because my head was spinning for a couple hours after these kinds of attacks. I was mad. I'll tell you, if the person was right in front of me, it may have turned into a physical altercation. But it was via text, thankfully. But I just had to cut this person off because I want people around my life that are going to be a positive influence, not completely toxic. And it's not to say that I'm not going to be there for someone when they're down, but someone who completely disrespects your boundaries, who calls you names, makes threats, tries to manipulate and control you at any cost, that is not a healthy person to be in your life. And it's sad to me. It saddens me that this person treated me this way and couldn't take a shred of responsibility about how they were making me feel and my boundaries in a relationship. But they seem to think they can come and go whenever they want, and your feelings do not matter at all. And then worst of all, they make you feel like an idiot or a loser or a liar for even trying to confront them to begin with. It's just a vicious, vicious cycle. And it saddens me to know there are so many abusive relationships out there in the world. To know there's so many forms of abuse and people are putting up with it. Because it's extremely difficult if you're used to not respecting yourself to continue to put up with bad behavior. Behavior that talks down to you. And here, let me tell you, it's not right. And you don't need to take it. You can go and surround yourself with people who are going to treat you well. It's very important to do this because being around those kinds of people will only bring you down. End of story. And hey, maybe if the person's willing to change and to take responsibility, maybe that person can come back into your life if they're a family member or a friend, but more than likely, it just is what it is. And you gotta establish your boundary. So that was my experience with gaslighting this past week. As maybe you could tell through some of my other videos, I tried to kind of do jujitsu my problems. Right? When I have a big event that really bothers me, I try to look at it in a way as, what can I do to turn this into a positive? And so with this one, it looked like, oh, I'll look at this form of communication, and it was like textbook gaslighting, what was happening. And I was like, well, I'll make a video about it to see if I can help other people recognize it, and then more importantly, do something about it, which generally means cutting a person off. Now, when I did work for the suicide hotline, mind you, we always told women in an abusive relationship to have a plan before they leave, because if they just try to leave, spouses have been killed by their husbands or boyfriends as they try to leave. So get a plan, maybe get other family members involved or the police, but you have to have a plan before you leave someone who is extremely abusive. And let me tell you, no one deserves to be treated in an abusive manner. Not at all. So that's all I had in this video here. I'll include my email address in the description if anyone wants to reach out to me about any coaching matters or whatever. And also, I'm also very curious about other topics that you may want me to speak about in some of my upcoming videos. I want to see what the issues are out there that maybe you think I haven't covered in other areas. So with that, that's all I had for you today. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to speaking with you again.